Hi everyone, tonight I'm going to be making shepherd's pie, which is another really easy meal to make with mince. And basically what you need to do is the same mince mixture as normal, but the key with a shepherd's pie or a cottage pie is that you just try and pack it full of as many vegetables as you possibly can. Great way to disguise it for the kids. And then you just top it with mashed potato. You could potentially top it with hash browns if you wanted to, but I'm going to do it with mashed potato tonight, and then cheese, and it goes in the oven. It's a great way of making a lot of veggies go in, and also for meat to go a long way. So I'm going to start off with my normal, onion and some garlic. I'm going to chop those up, saute them off, then add the meat, and we'll carry on from there. Okay, so I've cut my onion and garlic, and I've got my pan on there. I'm just about to saute that there. The other vegetables that I'm going to use tonight are the ones I've got in my fridge, so carrot, celery, capsicum, and I'm thinking about probably also using half of this leek or some of this leek as well. I don't want too much, otherwise it'll just overpower it. You could add other vegetables that you have, so zucchinis, peas, corn out of the freezer, pretty much anything that you think would add nicely into a stew. I do have cauliflower and pumpkin in my fridge, but I'm not going to add those. I'm not sure that kind of goes with this particular one. If you had bacon, you could fry off some bacon at the same time as you do your onions, and that would add a real nice depth to this as well, but I don't have any bacon today, so I'm not going to be adding that one in. So I'll start off with my onion and my garlic. Okay, so I have my onion and garlic and celery and capsicum in here, just cooking nicely. I'm going to grate my carrot in. I just want to keep my vegetables chopped or as small as possible, just so that it's not as obvious and it just kind of all blends into the one mixture. So I'm grating this in, and then I'm going to add my mince. Okay, so that's all cooked down nicely. I'm going to add my mince in. Now, one of the reasons why I put my mince in before I put my tin of tomatoes in is because my tomatoes contain quite a lot of liquid, and I want my mince to fry off rather than kind of boil in the liquid. Boiled mince is not very nice, and frying it gives it just that kind of browns it off. So I'll make sure I brown this off nicely, no lumps, and then I'll add my tin of tomatoes. Okay, so that's browned off really nicely. I'm going to add my tin of chopped tomatoes, and then I'm going to add my seasonings. And so it's my normal seasonings of paprika, cumin and turmeric. But instead of mixed herbs today, I'm going to be doing rosemary. So this is rosemary, dried rosemary, and that just adds to the flavour. Apparently the rosemary goes really well with lamb. This isn't lamb mince, this is beef mince, so this is actually a cottage pie. If it was lamb mince, it would be a shepherd's pie apparently. I'm not entirely sure why a shepherd would want to put his sheep into a pie, but that's why it's called shepherd's pie. So I'll add a teaspoon of each of those, some salt and pepper, and then I'll come back and show you. Okay, so the thing with a cottage pie or a shepherd's pie is you don't want it to be too runny, too liquidy, and so potentially you could use tomato puree or tomato paste instead of chopped tomatoes. I'm just smashing them down so that I don't have any lumps of them, and then you need to add a couple of tablespoons of flour, or at least one tablespoon of flour to this, so it's not too runny. But I never throw anything out, as you probably know. I have in my fridge some gravy left over from roasted the other night. There's also got a bit of carrot in it, so I'm going to pop that in, and that'll thicken it for me. And then I'm also going to add about a tablespoon of Worcester sauce. So that would be my mince meat mix all done once I've got those in. Okay, so that's cooking away nicely. It's still a little bit runny, so I'll let it cook down a bit and get rid of some of the liquid. And I also realised I forgot to put in my leek, so I'm going to pop that in now. That'll thicken it up a little bit as well. I could have put that in when I did my onions and garlic at the beginning, but I forgot. So it's only a little bit of leek, and that'll all cook down and it'll thicken it up. as well. While I let that do that, I'm going to get about 3 or 4 potatoes and put them on to boil. I could have done it earlier, but I forgot as well. And I'll make the mashed potato to go on the top of the pie. Okay, so a couple of things I've done here for my potatoes is I've cut them really, really small because I need to get them cooked as quickly as I can, and I've boiled the jug as well. So those two things will speed up this process. A little bit of salt, and then I'm going to mash these once they're cooked. A little bit of butter, a little bit of milk. Okay, so I've tasted this this mixture, and it's actually really nice and rich, and that's probably coming from, well, it is coming from the from the gravy that I added. Now, if you don't have that gravy in the fridge, obviously, then you can add a couple of tablespoons of flour, like I suggested, and you can also add a beef stock, and that would give the same richness to it as well. So I'm going to pop this into my dish. This is another meal that potentially I could have doubled the mixture and popped it in the freezer to save me cooking another night. So to add some more veggies, I'm just going to put some peas and frozen peas and corn in here before I add it into my dish. Don't really need to cook these because it's going to go in the oven anyways, and they'll heat through then. So frozen vegetables are already cooked. You just need to heat them through. So I'll mix that up, and then it's going to be going into my dish, ready for my potatoes to go on top. Okay, so I've got my mashed potatoes here and my meat mixture into my dish ready to go. I'm just going to spread this on the top and pop it in the oven. The oven's heating at 180 degrees. I mean, really, you don't need to do this last little bit if you don't want to. You don't need to heat your oven just to do this. You could just serve them separately and put cheese on top of your mashed potato. But I'm making the most of it. I'm going to be cooking a pudding in the oven as well, so I'm not just using it just for one small thing. So I'll spread this out, and then I'll come back and I'll put some cheese on. Okay, so there it is, all spread out. Only thing I'm going to do before I add my cheese is I'm going to get a fork, and I'm just going to give it some little lines like that. And basically what that does, it just gives the tops of those brown and go nice and crispy and crunchy, and it gives some place for the cheese to kind of melt into as well. You don't have to add cheese. This could be a cottage pie without the cheese, but that cheese just takes it to that next level. So I'll grate some cheese onto this. Okay, so I've just pulled the cottage pie, shepherd's pie out of the oven, and it's looking nice and golden on top, and dinner is served.